Hello everyone, this is Shabana Naveed, Senior Lecturer from UCP Business School in Pakistan. I'll be presenting my paper entitled Implementation of Human Resource Information System HRIS in the Public Sector. This is an exploratory study of perceived benefits and challenges in implementing HRIS in case of LESCO. The rationale of my study is presented. First of all, the various waves of radical reforms are introduced in public sector. The most popularized one is new public management reform model, under which the best practices of private sector are being incorporated in the public organizations with the theme to modernize the public organizations. In this regard, HRIS has an established successful system in the private sector. With the visible and successful use of HRIS in private sector, the public sector organizations are also adopting this trend under the influence of NPM. However, adoption of HRIS holds considerable promise for the advancement of HR functions, but the adoption of private sector HR practices in the public sector is not without challenge due to contextual differences in public and private sector. Notably, the presence of centralizing tendency, the hierarchical control, the rigid rules and regulations, and the lack of autonomy are well documented in the public sector, and particularly the public sector of Pakistan. With these contextual differences, the adoption of HRIS can be challenged to the public sector organizations. And therefore, HRIS in the context of public sector raises several questions. First, what challenges are faced by public organizations in the implementation of HRIS? Second, are benefits of HRIS such as efficiency, process integration, and cost reduction achieved or not? And how is the previous system improved with this change? And what are the challenges faced by the public organizations? Hence, addressing this critical literature gap, this study aims to explore the benefits and challenges of the implementation of HRIS in public organizations with following objectives. First of all, the study will explore the adoption of HRIS in public sector organizations in Pakistan. Second, it will explore the uses and benefits of the adoption of HRIS system in public sector organizations in Pakistan. And then it will identify the barriers of the adoption of HRIS system in public sector organizations. Moreover, the study will interpret the results in light of institutional logic's perspective. For this purpose, literature is reviewed from three streams of literature, including new public management reforms in public sector, human resource information system, its adoption and benefits, and the institutional logic's perspective. The study has adopted a conceptual model which has three-stage model of HRIS adoption. These three stages included operational stage, relational stage, and transformational stage. The operational stage of HRIS implementation is achieved when the HR activities are automated. Second, the relational stage is achieved when HR database is readily accessed by the managers and the employees of the organization. And the third, transformational stage is achieved when the HRIS data is integrated across the various departments of the organization and is used for decision-making purpose. The study will use institutional logic's perspective to interpret the results and to see whether the change is adopted or not. The institutional logics perspective is rooted in institutional change and action and institutional entrepreneurship. Institutional logic comprises of a set of assumptions, values and beliefs that provide guiding principles and practices for action. This perspective says that organizations conform with the logics in order to gain legitimacy from important referent audiences. Hence, organizations adopt different logics in order to gain legitimacy from the environment. However, organizations are faced with multiple institutional contexts and therefore they present separate rationalized myths. And when organizations try to incorporate contradictory practices and beliefs, it exposes the organization to contradictory logics and creates confusion and conflictions, which is problematic for the organizations. In order to explore this phenomena, the study needs an in-depth exploration and contextual study. Therefore, the study has used case study research design, and LESCO is selected as the unit of analysis. The study has adopted qualitative approach and used in-depth interview technique. The perspectives are triangulated and thematic analysis is performed to analyze the data. This table presents the detail of the respondents with which the interview was conducted. Now let's discuss the findings of the study. First of all, the findings related to adoption of HRIS in LESCO. This table contains the excerpts that indicates about the adoption of 3 stages of HRIS implementation. According to the findings, the operational stage has been largely achieved, whereas the relational stage is achieved to some extent, and the transformational stage is not being achieved at all. That means the HR data has been automized and being accessed by the managers and employees. However, it is not integrated yet and it is not being used for decision making purpose. Various benefits and uses of the adoption of HRIS were also asked from the respondents. With respect to the benefits and uses, it was found that the point of view of top managers and HR department differ greatly from the employees. So when the perspectives were triangulated, the study found gaps as far as the adoption of and as far as the benefits are concerned. Various benefits were identified, for example, time effectiveness, cost reduction, less paperwork, and improved decision making. However, employees denied that HRIS has resulted in these benefits. According to them, HRIS has increased the cost and the time to process the information, and therefore HRIS has resulted in more cost for the organization. The employees also identified various barriers and challenges in the implementation of HRIS, which included lack of vision and support from top management, organizational culture and internal resistance, lack of commitment from the employees and the top management to implement the system, lack of technical support and technical knowledge of the end users, and the lack of updated information for data automation. With these challenges, various impacts of HRIS implementation were identified, and the most prominent one was that HRIS has resulted in the dual systems in the organization. The previous manual system of file maintenance are basically being practiced in LESCO side by side the data entry in HRIS system. For example, one of the employees said, both manual and automation are going side by side. The data is used within the organization, although it is linked with internet mostly and through internet as well. So if we interpret these findings in light of institutional logic's perspective, we can explain the phenomena that HRIS is based on the new logic of use of technology for updated information and automated system. This new logic is in contrast to the already existing logic in the system. The previous logic of manual record keeping, making manual notes, and file processing is in sharp contrast to the new system, and therefore the new logic is resisted by the already prevailing beliefs and ingrained practices and culture. And the result is both manual and online systems are being practiced, and the employees are working with two divergent logics, which is costly for the organization and which is frustrating for the employees as well. To conclude, we can say that LESCO had put great effort to adopt HRIS. However, even after a decade of efforts and involvement of multiple vendors, the systems could not be adopted successfully. Therefore, dual systems are in practice, which is quite costly for the organization and challenging for the employees. So far, only operational stage is achieved. Relational stage is achieved to some extent, and transformational stage is far to achieve. So, the result is HRIS has resulted in less significant benefits for the public organization. The public organization is faced with various challenges to implement the new technology, which include lack of vision and support from top management, organizational culture, lack of commitment and trained staff, and lack of technical knowledge of the end users. Thank you.